All right, hello everyone, and welcome to today's Gems of War video. This video I have for you my scouting report for Zaejin Week, which will begin on June 10th, 2024. See Zaejin just northwest of the Broken Spire and across the lake. And in the underworld, the Amanithrax faction is north by northwest of the Fire Rift, and of course that is Zaejin's faction. So let's talk about Zaejin and Amanithrax. Zaejin is a nature kingdom with a skill point bonus of life. However, the skill point bonus is not going to be the reason you're likely to make a decision whether or not to level up Zaejin, because Zaejin and Goblin kingdoms, usually one and the same, are very meta. They were more meta before Nexus, but they still are very recommended. So if you like using Goblin teams, you might want to consider targeting level 18 for Zaejin so that you have the best kingdom bonus that you can get. Otherwise, Zul'Kyrie and Forest of Thorns first before you mess with Zaejin. Zaejin's trait stone is the Arcane Forest trait stone, and unfortunately it is only available in Zaejin. Zaejin's maximum power is already capped at 30. And the hero class, the Thief, is the only hero class that makes your hero a goblin. Aside from its synergy with Zaejin kingdom troops and goblins, the Thief class is very niche, and you won't be using it for any other reason. Amanithrax is a restriction green or brown when Tuesday rolls around, and by far the most important troop to get from Amanithrax is King Gobtruffle. It is a very good troop to have. I do recommend you get Queen Beatrix first, but he's still one of the early faction legends that you should be getting if you've just made it into the underworld. So let's talk a little bit about Zaejin's troops and how to get them. Keep in mind that you do need 39 of the possible 40 once we begin Zaejin in order to get to that power 30. Currently, 33 Zaejin troops are available in the various drop tables. 3 of them are mythics, and of course, the 5 Amanithrax troops are available through the Amanithrax portal. There is 1 tarot card from Zaejin that is available in the Vault drop table, and those are the existing 39 right there. Once Zaejin week begins, we're expected to get 1 more troop available in the Glory shop, which would be a fairly easy one to get, and typically troops that are available in the Glory shops are automatically added to the various chest drop tables as well. So yeah, that will be your 40. You'll if you're missing 1 of them, you're still okay. Missing more, and you got work to do. Okay, the guild event for this week will be the world event. It's a little bit tricky to predict what the restriction is going to be for world events because they could be literally anything. However, I do recommend that you challenge yourself in the tiers that you purchase, because the more epic medals you get, the better off you're going to be when you're trying to level up when trying to increase a kingdom's power from 20 up to 30, because those medals go by really quickly otherwise. So even if you're not doing it now, it's good to stock up on them. Zaejin week will see a new campaign pass begin, and I don't have any information to share on the campaign pass right now. However, once Zaejin week begins, I will probably post a video documenting the campaign pass and what I think about it. And the weekend will be Vault weekend, which is always important and always exciting, and you should absolutely do that. Okay, So now we have the core four and four more lists. The core four list is always the trials team. And you've got four you got four reasonably good Zaejin troops, reasonably to really good. Turtle Cannon, I think, is probably the one that you're most likely just going to use during the trials and then never again. It does have good traits, so you will want to have that one unlocked so that you can unlock the traits. Princess Fizzbang and Fundingus, much like the Turtle Cannon, are all epics. So this is a little bit of what I would consider to be an expensive uh, team, but Princess Fizzbang is used quite often. Fundingus maybe a little bit less. The Queen Grapple Pot is the legendary. She does damage to all enemies boosted by ally and enemy goblins at a ratio of ×3, and then gains an extra turn. As far as goblins go, you probably know this already, but most goblins will gain an extra turn when they cast their spell. That's what makes them so valuable and so interesting. The traits for Queen Grapple Pot, pretty much the third one is what you want. All allied goblins gain 5 life on 4 or 5 gem matches. 5 life generally isn't that much, but anything helps, I suppose. But anyway, you definitely want to make sure that you have all 4 of these unlocked. As far as the 4 more list, and this one isn't, as usual, this one isn't a team itself. First, we're going to look at Sir Snothelm. These are the 3 that I recommend that you absolutely get from the event chests if you do not already have them, along with the core 4 list that we saw previously. Sir Snothelm deals damage to one enemy, webs and entangles them, and gains an extra turn. So, web and entangle, that means magic goes to 0 and attack goes to 0. So, typically, if you have him on your team, you're going to be using him on the first troop on the other side. String Fiddler, I see this one a lot more than Snothelm, and he has a good trait. Song of Nature summons the Leaf Storm at the start of battle. Most goblins will use green, so that will help immensely. His spell silences an enemy and explodes a certain number of gems of one of their mana colors and gains an extra turn. So you now have a troop on the other side that cannot use their spell and cannot accumulate mana. Meanwhile, you are accumulating mana for your side. So yeah, you do see this troop fairly often. Goblin King, I think, is vastly underrated. He removes all gems of a chosen color. Removing all gems is removing gems is usually kind of looked down on because you're not actually accumulating mana when you do that. He gains 8 life boosted by gems removed, which is okay. I mean, if he removes 10 gems, then he essentially gains 13 life. He summons a goblin and then gains an extra turn. It's that summon a goblin that really gives Goblin King the value that he has. So, anyway, he has a legendary. The other goblin, Queen Grapple Pot, is probably more valuable, particularly since you need her for the trials. And as far as the 3 base mythics, obviously the one to go for your first one, if you're looking for one in the Soul Forge, is High King Irongut. High King Irongut deals damage to an enemy with a chance to devour them equal to his attack and then gains an extra turn. So you can see right here, his attack is 59, so he would, at this point, have a better than 50% chance of devouring a troop on the other side, assuming that they are not immune to devour. And of course, once he has devoured one enemy, that attack could go above 100, which means the spell is an automatic devour, again, assuming that there are no devour immunities in play. So that is definitely the one to go for. If you don't have this one and you have event keys to throw, it might be worth it. I mean, if you don't get High King Irongut, you might get Flaming Oni, which is still a really good mythic in his own right. Of course, you could end up with Fairy Godmother, but if you don't, but it might be worth it. But typically speaking, I would look for High King Iron Gut when he shows up in the Soul Forge, rather than trying to get base mythics through the event chests, which can be a little bit difficult sometimes. So let's move on to the weapons. Again, if you're thinking about trying to get Zaejin to power 30, keep in mind that you only need 14 of these weapons. And there's, I believe, 17 available right now. So you don't need all, so you certainly do not need all of them. But let's take a quick look at some of the key legendary weapons. Start with the Tome of Spores. Tome of Spores is the Amanithrax weapon, so this will only be available in the Soul Forge on Tuesday, and you can also get it with gems by purchasing tiers in Faction Assault. Either way, this is a weapon that looks good because it does scatter damage boosted by Amanithrax allies, explodes 3 gems for each Amanithrax ally, and summons an Amanithrax troop. The only issue that I have with this, and by the way, the other thing that I like about this weapon is it has enchanting. The only thing I have about this is that your hero does have to equip this. And the most that you can get from your hero as far as synergy with this weapon is to have your hero from Zaejin, which actually doesn't work. So you can only have 3 Amanithrax allies on your team plus this weapon. So that means that you're only doing 9 more damage maximum. You're only exploding 9 gems maximum. But you are summoning a Amanithrax troop, and for all you know, that could be another King Gob Truffle. So it's an okay weapon, but I don't think it's a weapon that you're likely to use that often. For the Rock Stabba and the Gob Sticker, the thing that stands out to me for both of these, if you take a look at them, you can see that the spell and the base magic for both of these is exactly the same, to the letter. So why would you need both of them? Well, you'd want both of them partially because the upgrades are different. I would say that Gob Sticker is a little bit better than Rock Stabba when you look at the upgrades. But the other thing to consider is the mana is different. The Gob Sticker is blue and yellow. Rock Stabba is blue and purple. So sometimes one will be better than the other just because of their mana colors. The other two to compare would be Hack Job, which deals damage to an enemy boosted by Zaejin allies and creates a mix of 6 green and brown gems for each Zaejin ally. And the other one is the Nordberg's Turnip, which deals damage to an enemy boosted by Goblin allies, then creates a mix of 6 green and red gems for each Goblin ally. Again, generally speaking, Zaejin and Goblin teams are going to be kind of one and the same. Overall, if you only can afford to get one of these two, definitely go for the Turnip with the higher magic and the synergy with goblins, because there are decent goblins outside of Zaejin, but there aren't really many non-goblins in Zaejin that you'll be excited to use a lot. Flesh Ripper is one of those weapons that is very situational. Some people like it, some people don't. It eliminates all armor from an enemy, deals a certain amount of damage, boosted by armor eliminated at 3-1, so that means that for every 3 armor points that are taken away, it will do 1 point of damage. You're essentially getting this to eliminate all the armor from an enemy, more than the damage that's dealt. Though essentially the damage that's dealt is very similar to true damage since there's no more armor. Get that one if you want and if it's available. The class weapon is the Skeleton Key. Really good weapon for early event teams. Deals a certain amount of damage to the first and last enemies, boosted by gold. If an enemy dies, gains an extra turn. The reason I say it's good for early teams is because when the teams are fairly low level. This is going to knock out 2 enemies right away, and then if you power it right back up, you can do the other 2. However, once things get pretty high, once things get higher than just the very initial levels, the skeleton key kind of falls off, and you'll end up looking for other brown weapons to use. And then there's one doomed weapon that's available in Zaejin, and that is the Doomed Breaker. Doomed Breaker is the green heavy splash damage weapon. It is certainly a really good weapon to have. A lot of people prefer the weapons that do damage to all versus the ones that do heavy splash damage. However, keep in mind that heavy splash damage will affect troops that are submerged, whereas weapons that do damage to all will not. This one also cleanses all green allies, so if your entire team is green, you can get an auto cleanse just by casting, in addition to all the damage it does. So definitely worth thinking about. I don't have it right now, but I will have it once Zaejin week begins. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap things up with a look at the pets. So the Black Beastkin is the most important one. This is the one that gives you the maximum team bonus for Zaejin, which kind of adds to your regular kingdom bonus. I really tend to focus on getting these first, and of course you've got the Starry Black Beastkin over here. You get this one by doing the Epic Trials, and that stacks some more team bonus on your Zaejin teams, making your Zaejin teams as powerful as possible. Some of the other ones to consider, you've got the Gobblekin right here. Gobblekin gives you a team bonus for goblins. Your goblin team bonus is not going to be as powerful as your kingdom bonus. However, if you like goblins and you want them to have all the skill points, yeah. And you also got Belligerent, which is a PvP goblin pet, and it only affects in the Summer Isle. I suppose it's possible that we could get a goblin restrictions in Summer Isle. However, just be careful. If this is a silver mark pet, it might be worth picking up. If it's a gold mark pet, get it. The Frog Prince is the faction pet, so you will get this one on your way to power 30 eventually. So keep that one in mind. And then of course you've got the Mini Shroom. The Mini Shroom, it gives you a team bonus for magic. Keep in mind that this is a fairly low effect. It does give you magic points, but in order to get this bonus, you have to have 4 unique purple troops in your team, and that will sometimes happen in the Tower of Doom, but from my experience, it doesn't happen at too many other places. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and consider subscribing to this channel and or following me on Twitch if you'd like to see more content. As for the comments below, let me know everything I got right, everything I got wrong. Are you excited for Zaejin Week? Thought so. I'll see you in the next video.